Hey, and welcome to another episode of What the Fuck? I'm JP Falk, and I'm a strength and conditioning specialist and also a snowboard coach. I'm going to try and contain my energy today because it is dumping outside. Today's topic is on ACL and MCL tears, what you as an athlete can do to prevent this injury or to come back strong from it. This type of injury is actually very common in women. A lot of my clientele base, actually, most of them, maybe if not all of them, have had some sort of ACL or MCL tear in their athletic careers. This is mainly because women have wider hips, and the angle that their femur is set at puts their knee at a structural disadvantage. Not long ago, an ACL and MCL tear would be a career-ending injury. Thanks to the advances that we've had in modern medicine, this is no longer the case. So I'm hoping that this information that I share with you will be able to help you to avoid injury or re-injury. So I'm going to share with you guys my three-step strategy to preventing or rehabbing back from these ACL and MCL tears. Those three steps in order are stabilization, functional strengthening, and heavy loading. In stabilization, what we're trying to avoid is knee knocking or internal rotation of the knee. We find ourselves in this position in a lot of sports, and it can give us a mechanical advantage sometimes, but this is why our sports are not always the best thing for our bodies. For example, we find this internal rotation happening a lot in sports that require a lot of agility. Football players do it a lot to make quick direction changes. You'll see it a lot in surfing and other board sports. The back leg tends to internally rotate, giving us a little extra control on how we pressure our board. So the best way to avoid injuring ourselves in our sports with these vulnerable positions is to stabilize the joint by, in this case for our knees, using glute activation exercises. There are two that I could think of offhand right now. Hip hikes, where you're standing on a platform and tilting your hips back and forth, and clamshells, opening and closing of the legs with a resistance band around the knees. These glute activation exercises are responsible for externally rotating our knee, which is a good pattern of movement that we need to develop for any sport. The second strategy in functional strengthening, this is where we balance out any strength imbalances that we have between our left and right leg, and avoid any kind of compensating movements and actions that will lead to further injury either in the knee or elsewhere in our body. An exercise that I use often are one-legged hamstring curls, especially for those who are post-op. A lot of times the ACL has been replaced or the MCL has been replaced with a hamstring graft. So we use a piece of the tendon off of a hamstring out of the back of our thigh and use that to replace the torn ligament. This leaves the hamstring quite weak and vulnerable, and so we need to strengthen that and get it back into shape so that it's functioning normally. Once we've stabilized the joint and functionally strengthened the body and made it ready to move properly, this is where we start heavy loading. This is the point which we want to stress the joint, as counterintuitive as that may sound. We want to push it to its limits to stimulate further collagen growth in the ACL and MCL. Thank you for tuning into this latest edition of What the Fuck. I hope you guys can use this information and go out there and have an injury-free season this year. I'm JP Falk, strength and conditioning specialist and freestyle snowboard coach, and I hope to see you guys out in the hills soon.